Respected Chief Guest, Shri Kotak, distinguished and honorable guests, members of my Board of Governors who are here and those who couldn't make it, our dear graduating students, their families, alumni, members of the press, Director Professor Shaibal Chattopadhyay, deans, program chairs, our loved and respected faculty colleagues, dear staff members, IIM Calcutta community, and all those who are gathered for this occasion virtually via the internet. My namaskars to all of you. Now at every occasion, every convocation, I always request the graduating class, I should say the graduating classes of the various programs, to identify and acknowledge those who made the most important contributions in your lives. It is my hope that this becomes a tradition, a pratha at IIM Calcutta. Without a doubt, it is your parents who are the most important contributors in your lives. It is their sacrifices and their desire for you to have a better life that has brought you to where you are today. I know the pride and joy they feel. It makes what you have accomplished that much more worthwhile. In honoring you today, we are also honoring them. Sitting amongst us are also our faculty members. These are men and women who chose the most noble profession. You have received from them the most valuable gift possible in life, the gift of knowledge. So I propose that we pay our tribute to teachers, not only here at IIM Calcutta, but all teachers across our nation. Their contribution is significant but under-advertised. I request you, dear students, to please rise. Please rise from your seats and join me in thanking your parents and your teachers with at least one round of applause. Thank you very much, parents. And thank you very much to the teachers. Thank you, dear students, for this privilege. Please sit down. My dear graduating class, today is probably your single most important day on campus. All the hard work is being recognized and now is culminating in you joining the family of IIM Calcutta alumni, an enviable distinction and a coveted privilege. Welcome. All privileges come with responsibilities. As alumni, you are ambassadors of IIM Calcutta, and I'm sure you will discharge this responsibility with dignity and grace. Please accept my heartfelt congratulations and admiration for all of you. You will recall that we met over a video conference session on 17th of June 2022. That was at your orientation. You may not remember, but I do. You were the 5th batch to who I posed a challenge. Do you remember the challenge? The challenge was this: can you be that batch which will graduate 100% together? This meant that your batch should not leave a single classmate behind. Do you remember why I posed this challenge? I will never undermine your individual accomplishments, but I wish for you to realize that carrying people along with you is far more empowering, far more satisfying, far more ennobling than individually racing ahead. And it is this trait that differentiates between a potential corporate leader and to being a superior human being who is an invaluable asset to society. This trait cannot be taught, it has to be inculcated. And I want you to remember this. For your information, you were 468 on 17th June 2022, and of those 468, 458 of you are graduating today. My congratulations to all of you. Here I wish for all of you to think about those who joined with you but who are not celebrating today. Keep them in your hearts. Remain friends. Life is long, very long, and Chitragupta, the cosmic bookkeeper, does not follow a double entry bookkeeping. He follows a multiple entry system. The balance sheet of life is only balanced at the end of the journey. So I urge you to recognize early on what of your actions will become assets on that balance sheet. The sea of young faces and happy faces and energetic faces that I see in front of me gives me the courage to gaze into the future. And in my mind's eye, I clearly see all of you as leaders of our collective future. It is such a reassuring feeling. To be given the opportunity to address you is my privilege. Real treasures must be visited again and again and again. There is only gain in doing so. Therefore, necessarily, parts of what I have to say will be repetitions. Some parts will be what you want to hear. Some other parts will be what you need to hear. It is for this reason that although my allocated time is 15 minutes, I still wish to try and share some thoughts on two important topics, important as I consider that important. First topic is management institutes and how to remain relevant in the coming future. The second topic I'm going to share my thoughts is economic poverty and attempt to analyze the root cause. So let me start by management institutes, how to remain relevant in the coming future. These are my thoughts, these are not prescriptions, but on a day like this, when the mind is expanding, I think not only you, but even I have the freedom to express and expand that thought. So how can a management institute stay relevant? To answer this question, I posed to myself a problem. What if the vision of our institute was that our alumni will be worthy to become not leaders, to become statesmen who take on leadership positions in organizations, whether businesses, social, private or public, and will be valuable and respected members of our society. If we can deliver on this vision, our institute and its alumni will always be relevant and will always be sought, no matter what the economic conditions. IIM Calcutta has successfully done so since its founding. It's a huge, huge success. Congratulations to this beautiful institute. But I ask, is it prudent to rest upon our past achievements? Advances in technology are breaking down the socio-economic, political silos and rapidly rewiring the landscape. One critical change due to this is that the dreams and aspirations of people are now pegged at global standards and not contained by social, economic or political boundaries. As tomorrow's leaders, you will be required to show organizations ways to honestly and sustainably address these global aspirations of people of different economic strata. What therefore should be the role of IIM Calcutta to equip its students with the necessary knowledge? So let me read out to you a very powerful Sanskrit Subhashit. It says, Amantaram aksharam nasti, nasti moolam anaushadham, ayogyaha purushoho nasti, yojakas tatra durlabhaha. The English translation for this is, there is no sound that is not a mantra, there is no plant or a root of a plant that is not medicinal, there is no person that is unworthy. What is lacking is the yojak, the enabler. Now, I couldn't have put it better, and this is a Sanskrit Subhashit, probably 3,000 years old, I don't know. So your alma mater, IIM Calcutta, is one of the finest institutes of management that this nation has produced, and it has always been a leader in management education. It has done an outstanding job of teaching courses such as finance and control, economics, marketing, human resources, MIS, etc., 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 that dominate the curriculum. But I ask myself, are these courses sufficient? If we wish to equip our students to become the yojak, the enabler, it is my belief that in this digitally enabled world, organizations and businesses will need to start collaborating for public good as against competing for only shareholder wealth maximization. To equip our students to be enablers in such a world where they will need to have the ability to influence opinion, our institute is exploring ways to introduce human values into the curriculum of its various programs. For faculty, it would mean that the institute gives them regular opportunities to be part of real teams and gain invaluable practical experience. It would also mean for the institute to bolster its faculty ranks with experts, those who have deep domain expertise, professors of practice, institutes that encourage lateral hiring of talent as against trying to rely only on internal homegrown expertise will remain relevant because they will be able to efficiently respond to the changing needs. Human values apart, any developing society needs to gainfully employ its citizens. For this, jobs and job creation are a fundamental necessity. With governments, both in India and globally, moving out of the business of business, the creation of jobs is now primarily the responsibility of the businesses that make up the economic engine. And here the competitive pressures of reliability, efficiency, adaptability are driving businesses to embrace automation. With the advent of artificial intelligence, and the adoption of automation will become faster with reduced human intervention. These decisions are always taken in corporate management boardrooms with little or no government intervention, and rightfully so. So the question is, who will create these jobs? For creation of jobs, we need the enablers, the yojak. A redeveloping nation like Bharat, therefore, direly needs more and more entrepreneurs. The government is already clued onto this matter and is trying to address it through various important initiatives to foster a culture of entrepreneurship and innovation across several sectors of the national economy. Growing economies like us face unique challenges such as limited access to capital, infrastructure, and skilled talent. It is my belief that eminent institutes like IIM Calcutta should also play a leading role in entrepreneurial education to inculcate in its students an entrepreneurial mindset of taking risks, collaborate, thinking creatively, and be the enabler in building entrepreneurial ecosystems. This will require for us to teach business fundamentals alongside helping the student to build on their leadership skills using human values and financial astuteness. Our pedagogy will need to be rethought to help our students achieve a high degree of awareness of the context of their field of operations through a thorough understanding of human values, social issues, and policy aspects. To maintain our relevance, we will need to be able to impart essentials of entrepreneurship, human values, and a collaborative mindset to our students across various programs. By the way, you can test my hypothesis right now. Shri Uday Kotak, our chief guest today, is an entrepreneur par excellence who chose not to take the lucrative and cushy job with a multinational. For a moment, imagine if IIM Calcutta had access to him, what aspects of his distinguished journey would we want our students to get insights into? Ponder silently in your hearts, and you will arrive at the correct discount rate for what I just shared. I'll now move on to the second topic, which I wanted to share my thoughts on: economic poverty, an attempt to analyze the root causes. Now, although I'm not an expert on this subject matter, but I did experience self-inflicted poverty. My thoughts below, or what I'm going to share, are a result of my experience, my anubhav. They are simple, and all you need to do is to have a compassionate heart to understand them. I decided to share my thoughts with you on poverty because as future leaders of organizations working in a world without social silos, poverty will confront you sooner than later. And I'm not just talking now of economic poverty, it could be even emotional poverty, it could be, poverty can have multiple layers. But for a moment, let's focus from a multidimensional poverty, let's just focus on economic poverty today. From January 2015 till the end of April 2016, over 476 days, my teacher, Shri M, allowed me to join him on a Padyatra that zigzagged across this nation from Kanyakumari to Srinagar, a total distance of approximately 7,500 kilometers. It was a humbling experience of many lifetimes. I got to experience the expanse of our motherland, the generosity and compassion of her people, and her foundation and her life breath, Sanatan Dharma, which I consider our unifying spiritual heritage. By living on a daily budget of less than rupees 500 per day, I was able to experience poverty myself over a prolonged period of more than 475 days, staying out of my comfort zone. For the first time in my life, I actually understood why financial inclusion is key to social inclusion. Prior to this, I had worked in the villages of Gujarat and could clearly identify that it was the inequitable distribution of the gross margin that was the single most significant contributor to economic poverty. And this was always driven by human greed. Human greed is the root cause of economic poverty. Our people create wealth, but have very poor access to that wealth. And more disturbingly, it is our greed that restricts their ownership to an unfairly small proportion of the wealth they helped create. Isn't true economic strength also about making available the ownership of that wealth across the broadest cross-section of society? This is a question I ask myself. This human greed crushes the entrepreneurial spirit. The DNA of our people has entrepreneurial spirit. These entrepreneurs who are wealth generators are like seeds. We need to nurture them, protect them, and value them to be able to harvest the benefits in a sustainable manner. Let me tell you, poverty isn't a complex phenomena, and complex financial terminology doesn't even touch the surface of poverty. It is only in places such as institutes of management like IIM Calcutta, where eminent academicians meet with industry stalwarts like Shri Kotak, that there can be a conducive atmosphere for a new paradigm to be envisaged? Can there be a research at IIMs to link poverty to greed, human greed? Can greed be defined, and therefore can organizations and business leaders be taught not to be greedy? These are difficult questions. These are not questions for the weak at heart. But this isn't an exercise, therefore, for the faint of heart. It must be undertaken courageously and with the full force of your humanity. There is enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. Greed is not just financial. Anytime we take more than our need, I define that as our greed. Greed is actually violence. And this violence of greed, example, economic violence, is more lethal and more lasting than physical violence. It's a weapon of mass destruction. So next time you hear of Gandhiji and non-violence, remember that he most likely was referring to more than the physical violence. While I don't claim to have solutions, but if my words today can infect you with such thoughts, and if such thoughts were to be present in your mind and become touchstones when you contemplate business decisions not so far out in the future, I will consider my job done. Such social problems are solved by the willpower of successive generations. Now that you are a newly minted management professional, be part of the teams that have solved social problems with conviction and courage. And always remember, all social problems are management problems, but not all management problems are social problems. I have great hope for each and every one of you. As you step out into the world, please accept my prayers for your continued well-being, good health, happiness, and peace of mind. May the Divine always bless you. Jai Hind.